Hey guys, it's Alaina with the Organized Money and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first video, hi, I'm Alaina and I do videos on how to adult. So that's videos on planning, productivity, organization, and managing money. If that interests you, then make sure that you hit that subscribe button as I would love for you to be a part of our little family. Today's video is going to be on my October budget recap. So there are a couple of things that I do when I am recapping the entire month. I'm going to be using my planner, of course, a calculator, 2 pens, a black and a red Papermate Flare pen, and also my green bullet journal. So I'm going to be walking you through the exact process of what I do in order to look at an overview of what happened last month and prepare for the next month. So the first thing that I'm doing is I'm opening to the month of October. When I first set up my entire month, I always write in with my sticky dots and I write in a black pen and kind of let y'all know exactly what's going to hit on certain days. So that's how I plan at the beginning of the month. But at the end of the month, what I'll do is I'll write in red exactly what has happened for that month. So then I'll go in and look at each day and look at my bank account and basically write in everything that happened on that day. So then that way I can add up the categories at the end of the month. So that's what I'm about to do right now. So this process isn't completely necessary. You could definitely get away with not doing this. I do like to do this only because I like to see when there is high activity going on in my account. I am running 2 businesses and we have a lot of activity with the businesses along with my personal accounts. So I like to do this process because it kind of helps me stay on track with what's going on. So next I'm pulling out my green bullet journal. And originally I was going to make this journal really pretty, but I decided to just make it very, very functional. So my setup is super simple. So if you wanted something really artsy, this is definitely not going to be that. The first thing that I'm doing is setting up my savings. This is basically letting me know what my savings was for the month of October. So I have 3 apps that I'm currently using, which is Acorns, Capital, and Stash. I am planning on doing a full video on those apps to tell y'all the pros and cons of those. Then I have my emergency fund and I have our sinking funds. Our sinking funds, we did have 500 in there, but we ended up having some car troubles this past month and had to deplete it and use it all. So I am restarting our sinking funds yet again to try and save some money toward it. For my credit card goal, we have 1 credit card left. I told y'all in the month of September we ended up paying off 3 credit cards, so we're down to our last one and it's about $11,000, $12,000 that's on that card. For our sinking funds, I am dividing up and adding up the categories again that I'm going to be using for sinking funds and basically adding up the amounts that I am going to need for each category. I've done this a couple of times before, but I believe that I have always overestimated the amounts that I needed. So I'm trying to keep it as minimum as possible. In order to have enough money, but not too much to where I feel like I can't save it. So basically, I'm averaging it out to $100 a week that I'm going to save toward my sinking funds. So the next section that I'm working on is my October expenses. This is where I'm going to look at an overview of all of my categories and see how much we spent in each category. So I'm going back to my planner and I'm basically adding up the different categories Basically, like if it's charity, I'm adding up everything that we spent on charity. If it was savings in the app, then I'm adding all of those up. I'm checking them off in my planner, and then I'm adding it to my bullet journal. So then that way I can see how much we have spent overall in each category for the month of October. This helps me when I am budgeting for the month. I know that I'm not underestimating or overestimating a certain expense if I know based on history what we have done over the course of the last month. So I know it can be basically about the same. Another thing I do here is I'll separate how much we spent on regular bills versus my debt repayment, because that keeps me encouraged to make sure that I'm paying down debt as quickly as possible, because it could possibly be not a line item on my budget, and that would be amazing, right? So this is the last part of my budget recap. Basically, I'll add up all of the expenses just to see where we are and to make sure that I'm budgeting correctly for the upcoming month. So I look at my savings, my debt repayment, sinking funds, and then my expenses for the month. And then after I add up everything, I make sure that I'm budgeting correctly for the month of October. And that is basically it, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I know it was pretty simple with me just writing in my notebook, but that's how my process goes, and I wanted to share it with you guys. Make sure that you follow me on Instagram, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.